Do you care, tissue, skin, bone, or just the whole thing in 15 minutes? Probably the whole thing in 15 minutes, right now. Okay. I'm gonna start with my tissue. Okay. True or false? Epithelium is a very vascular tissue. False. I can scratch like this and not breathe. So, because epithelial tissue has no blood supply of its own, what is always underneath epithelial tissue? Connective tissue. What kind of connective tissue? It's usually loose areolar tissue. It might be irregular dense fibrous connective tissue. Just know always where there's epithelium, there must be connective tissue underneath, because connective tissue has a lot of blood vessels. True or false? Epithelium has a lot of matrix. False. Matrix is the stuff between the cells. You know, it could be calcium deposits, it could be plasma, but if epithelium is coverings and linings, don't you want the cells all next to each other? So epithelium has no blood supply of its own, it has no matrix. On the other hand, connective tissue is loaded with blood and loaded with matrix. Okay, two criteria you look at to name epithelial tissue. What do you look at? If you want to name this particular epithelium, what it is, simple, squamous, stratified, squamous, what two things do you look at? The shape of the cells, cuboidal, columnar rubbers, and layers. How many layers? What if it's one layer that looks like many? Pseudostratified. Where in my body could I find some pseudostratified?
Digestive tract.
Best example is for upper respiratory system. Pseudostratified has cilia 99% of the time. Is where you're catching dust particles in the breath. Now, exam day, Monday, you can't leave during the exam to go to the bathroom. It's hardcore. Be 2 minutes late, go to the bathroom, but don't worry, there's some sort of epithelium that will let your bladder expand so you don't have to go to the bathroom. Transitional transitional epithelium found in my urinary bladder allows it to stretch. There's something like that in my stomach that allows stretching. Same idea. So remember the folds in the stomach that allow the stretching? Rugae. Remember Rugae, which you don't need to know. Okay, fibers. True or false? Epithelial tissue and connective tissue have fibers. Epithelium and connective tissue have fibers. You're picking false. What if I said epithelial tissue has fibers? False. Connective tissue has fibers. True. 3 types of fibers. The strongest, the ones that make up the white of your eye. Collagen. The flimsy, flexible ones. Elastic. And the ones that are a subgroup of collagen that are built into organs, so even soft organs like the spleen keep their shape. X. Somebody's been studying reticular. Very good. Okay. What if I said a whole cell was lost in a secretion? What kind of exocrine gland loses the whole cell when it makes something? Holocrine, very good. And there's only one example of a holocrine gland. Oil, sebaceous gland. When you make oil, because you want your skin to be, you don't want to be dry out, the whole cell is lost, so oil glands are always making more oil glands. Okay, what if I said the best example, none of the cell is lost in the secretion, you just make it, and none of the cell doesn't even need repair. What do you call that kind of cell? Merocrine. Do you have an example of a merocrine? I heard it. The salivary glands and your pancreas. And the last in between, part of the cell is lost in the secretion. We have one example. Mammary glands. Okay, we've been studying. Very good. I don't know where I could find simple cuboidal epithelium. Kidney tubules, that's it. Just know that one. Where could I find simple squamous? Alveoli, or just say air sacs and lungs. Very good. Where can I find stratified squamous epithelium? Skin. Is it with or without the keratin? With the keratin. We have a very long, difficult word that means all the sweat glands in your body. Who said that? Sudoriferous. Whoa. Wow. And sudoriferous glands can be eccrine or apocrine. Which one makes you smelly? The eccrine or the apocrine? Apocrine causes body odor. And body odor doesn't start till you reach puberty. Smell a newborn baby, they smell luscious. Okay. Eccrine are your sweat glands. It's perfect. Okay. A function of your skin. Is one of the functions of your skin is to make extra vitamin C for you? No. What vitamin is made in your skin? Vitamin D as in David. Very good. Okay. The dermis of your skin has 2 regions, name them. The dermis of your skin has two regions, doesn't have the 5 strata. What are the two regions? Capillary and reticular. And if I said the main tissue in the dermis, irregular, dense fibrous connective tissue. How many different types of cartilage are there? 3. What's the most common one? Hyaline cartilage. Where could I find it? In the embryonic skeleton, your trachea, and at the ends of your long bones. They're just some examples. The strong fibrocartilage, where can I find it? Intervertebral disc and the pubic symphysis joint between your 2 hip bones. And the real flimsy, flexible, elastic cartilage, 2 places. Begins with an E, both of them. Ear and epiglottis. Whoa, we've been studying. Okay, what do tendons connect? Muscle to bone. What do ligaments connect? Bone to bone. What type of tissue makes up tendons and ligaments? So good so far. Dense, fibrous, connective tissue. What do you call the liquid matrix of blood? Plasma. What do you call the matrix of bone? Lamella. What do you call, I think I asked it last time, maybe I didn't, the stem cell from which all bone cells originated? The stem cell from which all bone cells. Osteogenic cell. Genesis means the beginning. What do you call a bone cell that builds more bone tissue? Osteoblast. What do you call a bone cell during remodeling that breaks down bone tissue? Osteoclast. What maintains the bone matrix? Osteocyte. Very good. Okay, now, there's 2 of them. If a bug was crawling down my skin, I have certain receptors that are present for light touch. There's 2 of them. What detects light touch? Merkel, M&M, Merkel and Meissner. Gotta know Merkel and Meissner. Now it's not light touch. Someone is grabbing you. Deep touch. Deep pressure. Cassini. Oh, Lil, you have been studying. Okay, I got my convertible. The air is blowing through, which I have one here. The wind is blowing through my hair. What detects that I have wind blowing through my luscious long hair? That's just hair follicle receptors. That should be easy. Hair follicle receptors. And I feel pain. I have frostbite. I have a big burn. How do I know that? Free nerve endings. Very good. Okay. What do dendritic cells do? Ingest foreign substances. Oh my gosh, you want to take the test too? Sound like you could. Okay, I have my epidermis, I have my dermis, and I forgot what's under my dermis. Hypodermis. What 2 tissues make up your hypodermis? Adipose and areola. Think of AA. How many pigments for 99% of it decide our skin color? A mixture of 3. The dark brownish black pigment is which one? Melanin. The one that gives us our pale complexion, common in the Irish descent. It's due to hemoglobin, which is not melanocyte. And the one that's sort of a yellow-orange pigment? Keratin. Very good. Okay. Do you know the parts of hair? Because there's a matching on the parts of hair. Do you know the parts of nails? Because there's matching on the parts of nails. Or you will know that. How about skin cancer? Which is the most common skin cancer? Basal cell carcinoma. Which is the most malignant one that's less than 1% of all cancer? Melanoma. Very good. In our lifetime, 1 out of how many people are going to get skin cancer? 1 out of 5, and they say it's even going up. If I had an irregular mole, what are the 4 ABCDs? What are they looking at that they say, hey, call the dermatologist? Asymmetry, the right and left side don't mirror image one another. The border is irregular. The color, each mole should be just the same shape. It shouldn't be light brown, dark brown in the same mole. And diameter shouldn't be bigger than a pencil eraser. Okay, you got all these burn victims here. You got to decide who to take care of first. I hate to sound that way, but there's a lot of these burn victims. What do they use to measure the severity of burns? Rule of nines. Not tens, nines. Very good. Okay, name me a round bone. Patella, which are sesamoid bones. Name me a flat bone. Best example. Sternum. Name me a cube-shaped bone. They're called short bones. Carpals or tarsals. And a long bone? A bone in my arm and leg. Where do my phalanges fit in? Are they long or short bones? They are long bones. That's a trick question. Parts of a long bone. What's the cavity in the middle of the diaphyses called? Medullary cavity. What's it filled with? Yellow marrow. Are you making blood cells there? No. What are you doing there? Storing fat. What are the ends of the long bones called? They are the epiphyses. And would I find compact or spongy bone there? Spongy. What's in the holes? Red bone marrow. What's the name, it's a hard question, for the ridges that you find only in spongy bone that help bone, they're found along lines of stress? Begins with a T. Trabeculi. Very good. Trabeculi. Very good. What do you call the space where an osteocyte lives? Lacuna. Lacuna. Two ways to make bones, ossification. How do you make your cranial bones? What's the name? Intramembranous ossification, because bone forms on top of fibrous membranes. What do you call it when you make bones by replacing the hyoid cartilage model? Endochondral ossification. Very good. Okay, two hormones control your blood calcium levels, just name it. Parathyroid hormone and calcitonin. Which one raises blood calcium? Parathyroid hormone. So class, this would be a real high question. If you raise your blood calcium and taking it out of the bone, putting it in your blood, are you stimulating or inhibiting osteoclasts? If you're raising blood calcium, you didn't drink milk today, and you're putting more calcium in your blood, taking it out of your bones, are you stimulating or inhibiting osteoclasts? Stimulating osteoclasts, then it's breaking down the bone tissue. Okay, true or false? Estrogen and testosterone can influence growth spurts. Definitely true. Okay. My great-grandmother fell and broke her bone in 3 places. What kind of fracture is that? Diminutive. You were playing sports and you twisted your ankle. What kind of fracture is that? Spiral. You're a kid. One part of and you fell. One bone, part of it bone bent, and the other part didn't bend. Green stick. Very good. What do you call a worm-like canal in a bone? Worm-like canal in a bone? Meatus. What do you call a groove on a bone? Sulcus. What do you call a slit in a bone? Fissure. A hole in a bone? Foramen. A rough spot where muscles attach? Tuberosity. So we need to do these. But you're going to be just fine. Have a lovely weekend. Study.